To the east of Colorado is Kansas, Nebraska, much of the Great Plains, in which one of the things we mentioned is it's been actually depopulating. It's kind of a hollowing out. Meanwhile, we have the case of Colorado, once again, a fast-growing state. And this fast growth was happening before marijuana. So don't necessarily think that this is all because it has a budding economy. No, it's been attracting young people for the last 20, 30 years. So where we're seeing a lot of the in-migration to Colorado, we're seeing it to Denver, Boulder, what we call the Front Range, but also scattered throughout much of the Rocky Mountains. And so places like Grand Junction are growing. You got Aspen and Telluride, Durango, Pueblo. All these various places are growing. They're growing for a variety of reasons. Of course, we have international immigration, a large Latino population, in particular here in the southern part of Colorado, but increasingly here in the agricultural, kind of the Great Plains part of Colorado. You're seeing large in-migration of Latinos. But mostly what we got going on here is domestic migration of 25 to 44-year-olds. Where are they coming from? Overwhelmingly, they're coming from California, Texas, Florida, Arizona, Illinois, New York, New Mexico. So we look at, in the case of Denver and Colorado, it's attracting young people from all over the country. You look at Salt Lake City, to a certain extent, Las Vegas, to a certain extent Boise. It's mostly people from the western part of the United States that are migrating there. Not overwhelmingly, but in the case of Colorado, it's a little bit more dispersed in terms of the in-migration. Characteristics of this in-migration, thus, because they're typically younger people, they're going to be smaller residences, smaller families, smaller households, let's say. They're also going to be lower income. I mean, it's just a fact of life. Young people don't have a lot of money unless you're a trust fund hippie, which there's a lot of out here in Colorado. So subsequently, because of that, we're seeing a lot of younger families. Younger families means that we're only going to see more and more growth, because young families thus are going to create kids who are soon going to raise families themselves. And so also what we got going on here is these are people moving in their most productive years of their life. So whereas Arizona is seeing a large retiree population, people at the end of their lives, older people, the key here is what's going on is this is young people, people that have ambition. I'm telling you, once you get to your 40s, you lose ambition. It's just a fact of life, because that job promotion might not be happening. But when you're 20s and 30s and you're all of a sudden popping out kids and you're trying to attract a spouse, by God, you're going to be more productive than you ever have. And so people are going to be more likely to start up a company or to do a good job at their workplace. When you get to your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you essentially start mailing it in. You're definitely not as productive as you are in your younger years. And I'll argue that with anybody. So if you want to argue with me about it, boy, I'll take you on and argue any day that the most productive years of your life are going to be in your 20s and 30s and your early 40s. But after your 50s and 60s, no way, Jose. Definitely a key concern in Colorado is you got all these people moving here. It's a very tight job market. There's not a lot of jobs available. And so oftentimes what happens is people move to this particular area and they then find a job. So you kind of relocate and then try to find employment. What this means is not always are people that are moving here working in the careers that they might have gotten a degree in. So it's not like people, you might have that degree in marketing, but you're working for a logistics company and doing administrative stuff, or you might be someone who majored in history, and so instead of teaching history, you're working at a ski shop. So essentially people are more driven by the location, driven by the amenities, and then subsequently find jobs to kind of just so they can stay and maintain and live there. Now, back to the marijuana thing. There is some evidence of marijuana impacting positively the economic development in certain areas. So just I'm going to look at one particular place in particular, and that's Fort Morgan and the Log Lane Village right through here. So we have an area here that's been very sparsely populated, but recently you've seen kind of these a boom here. So these are just some marijuana shops. There's, I think, one over here, one there. Green Stop, there, right there. So these are places that have historically been abandoned. Not much happening here, but now that there's the marijuana shops, people are coming here in large numbers from all over the country, especially places from farther to the east. This is one of the first places in which you can buy legal weed. So subsequently you're seeing some hotels pop up. And so you are seeing some redevelopment, some places that have been abandoned. But this doesn't really see, you're not going to see huge economic impact. It's not like this is all about booming area, but nonetheless showcases how you do see some growth in some particular areas, some redevelopment related to marijuana.